Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian. Own nothing, control everything. Thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 750. PSA: Living revocable trust are not private. Definitely appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening to replay. We got a bunch of trustees that have reached out recently and throughout the years that have brought this to our attention. So we're here to address this today. If you want to make any comments, feel free to comment into the chat. Even on the back end, we end up going back and reading over comments in the chat and replying to people in the chat. So if you want to, put a message into the chat, that's fine. But once again, we're just here to kind of have a conversation in here. We're not legal advice, we're not financial advice. We do consulting and we work with families. And these are some of the challenges that people encounter. It's because you have to hire a legal team, you have to hire a firm, an estate firm, or whoever. And so there is a selection process that you're going to go through. This particular episode is not going to talk about the selection process completely or in depth. But this episode definitely is here to make it a point to share with you that it's not and give you the underpinnings of why it's not. And so when we talk about why it's not private, quote unquote, the reason why we will be able to say that it's not private, or the reason why we will put out to the public that it's not private, is because it's with the government. It has government laws inside of it. And we even sat in front of a legal individual, and this is throughout the year, so it's not one person. We're just thinking of one individual right now that they definitely have read over things that we work with, instruments and things of that nature, and they were like, very impressive. But they were like, at the end of the day, if it has any type of like public laws in it, then it's not private. And so we are aware of that, and that's why when we talk to trustees that come on the line and try to say, oh, well, I was looking into the living trust, it's like, well, the living trust isn't private. Why? Because the way it's even set up is not private. Now, whether y'all want to know that there's a proprietary method to make it private, that's how you know. Because if it was private, you know that it's not with the government. And if you are with the government, then you know that if you look through it and you see any public laws, then you be clear in your understanding, which is that this entity is a public entity. That's that. It's just that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Some people say, oh man, Trust Christian, I got me. I'm looking into this living trust stuff. I'm going to look into this living trust stuff. Yeah, you're looking into the living trust, but at the end of the day, that's public. It's not private. The structure of it, you're the grantor, correct? Yeah. And then you're still a trustee, right? Yeah, but my children going to be the beneficiaries. Yeah, but the nature of the contract, the way it's even set up, you're still in control and you never really gave up ownership. Because technically you didn't. You still have some level of control over assets that you just said you owned. And we can sit here and have a conversation in the public with many people, whether they're attorneys or not, and they will share with you that from that perspective, it makes it a living trust. Just the fact that you are the grantor and you're still the trustee. And so some people do different things. They try to get another trustee, all these other things, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, there's a difference between living and why you know you're in a private or a private trust, because it's not about it being living. A private trust, what's that supposed to mean? Oh man, if I'm in a private trust, it could be living still. How? It's all about the preface around the theme, around the structure, around living. It's supposed to be for the living. Oh really? Yes. Because trusts are dead entities. They can live forever. Did you know that? Did anybody ever share that information with you? Did the attorney share that information with you? Did they share that information with you? Of course. Yes, it can live forever, so why would it be a living trust then? And so these are the things that we talk to people about on consultations. When people reach out, do a discovery call, do a consultation, them going through trustee training. They wanna know. They wanna know, hey, get me out of this situation. Somebody said, so only a private trust is living. First of all, we just said that a living trust is not private. And a private trust is not living. Why? Because a private trust is a dead entity. It's a person. It's just like what you call your legal person in the public. It's a legal person. So when people come to us to the vault and they say, oh yeah, the government, they created a trust for me. And
They created a trust for me, and it's a public trust. There's a sophisticated trust on the public side. Well, okay, did you create it? It's a constructive trust. It's all these different types of trust. Then we get on the line with a trustee the other day, and we're like, do you have your dictionary, your legal dictionary? Oh no, but I'm gonna get the newest one. I'm gonna get the 10th version. And we're like, yeah, wait till you get that third version in the mail. Wait till you get that fifth version in the mail, or that fourth version in the mail. You be like, man, they got so many more definitions for the private trust or the public trust or the private word or the living word or the this word or the that word. You're like, man, these definitions are a little bit more in depth. And then they have the legal maxims with it. So what are you gonna say then? When you see the legal maxim next to the word, and then the legal maxim points you to another word that's a part of that word. Somebody said only a private trust is private. Correct. And so if somebody were to say, well, what makes it private is basically the easiest way they try to say it is just without the government. Doesn't have any governmental laws in it. So how is the law governing the contract? And most people can't tell you that. So when they try to tell you these international contracts don't exist, that's just people talking smack out here because they clearly don't know. But from the private perspective, private is synonymous with international, just like public is synonymous with domestic. So if you're in a domestic territory, then it's going to be public because they want that information for the public in that territory, that jurisdiction. It's a public entity. You pretty much say, hey, I might use this entity in the public in general. So in turn, there's public laws regulating public entities. That's what it is. Whether that's a C corp or not just a trust, but a C corp, it could be an LLC. They have various different laws that are governing these entities different. Think about the tax law for these entities. They're not all the same. So that's how you know there's a law governing them. And do you know the law that's governing these things? Well, if you're in the public, then there's public law governing public trust. So when you say it's a living trust, it's just a public trust because that's the law that's inside of the contract for most of the people that we talk to and they deal with, and people in general in the private in the public sector. You go talk to somebody that's got a public trust set up for one of these attorneys out here, they're going to basically have some public laws in there that's going to make, and it's usually going to be a state created trust. How you going to have a private trust and a state created? Y'all want to go there? We could go there because people want to sit out here and talk all that stuff like, oh man, I don't know what's private. Yeah, you don't. You gotta invest in your private education. That's what you gotta do. Outside of investing in your private education, it clearly private means there's going to be some things that you're going to have to be aware of, and you're going to have to invest in that information. It's not, oh man, I'm gonna just Google it. If you could Google it, hey, have fun with it. We're not against it. We're not saying you can't Google everything. Mentors trained us on Google for for the public stuff, but not for the private stuff. Private stuff is not even on the internet. Like, what are we talking about here? This is where we are. Oh man, is the private stuff on the internet? Not from the vault. That's why it's called the vault. We understand that. We're not sitting around saying, "Oh, it's supposed to be for everybody." Well, the what was for everybody is called the Social Security number. You hear that? Y'all want to go there? Let's go there. The public trust. What's the purpose of getting a living trust when you got a Social Security number that's a trust? Oh, well, the structure and the laws governing are different. There you go. There's specific laws governing whether it's a trust or a LLC or a C corp. We're aware of these things. Are you aware of these things? Oh man, I'm gonna do a living trust. We what's the point of getting into something that you pretty much already have? It's just, and then think about this. So what the attorney gonna tell you? Oh yeah, I'm not gonna sell you a private trust. First of all, that's what. Let's start there. I'm not gonna sell you that. You don't have enough money. So I'm gonna give you a what? A living trust. And if you don't want a living trust, you should do a will. Now you think about this. Just like it's levels to cars, it's levels to the business. Now some people may say, "Oh, trust Christian, you don't know. I don't have the money for the Ferrari, for the Lamborghini. I don't have that money." Guess what? Y'all want to know the secret? What's the secret, trust Christian? The secret is they actually have dealerships, and you have to go to the dealership and you have to try the car out. So, does getting to the dealership cost you a little bit of money? An energy, quote unquote, energy exchange? Yes, you're gonna have to get there. And once you get there, you can test drive the vehicle. Can't ever say, well, when I didn't have the money, I couldn't drive it. You can drive it actually when you don't have the money. It's a test drive. That's you investing in your private education. You're putting the energy forward. You're going to the place that you gotta go. You're getting around the people you gotta get around. They're gonna take some of your time. If you consider it costing you money, it's gonna take some of your time, which costs you money. So that's how you pay it forward. You go, you fill the car, you confirm the confirmation. That's the vehicle you're gonna be in. The mentors, they invited us to a workshop. We went to the workshop. We knew what time it was after that. It wasn't even a question asked. Oh man, Trust Christian, what happened, dude? Did you go test drive the car? The mentors invited us to a workshop. Of course. Of course. Mentors invited us to a workshop. We saw all the other smart, wealthy people sitting in the room, wealthy minded people and wealthy people in terms. Oh man, if you're not richer than that person, you gotta take some notes. We took the notes. There's a private. We didn't even jump into a lot today when it comes to we talk about like they got public foundations and private foundations, correct? Right. So it's the same thing for the trust situation. It's the same thing for that's what it looks like on the public side. LLCs, C corps, public entities.
Appreciate New Jersey for tuning in live, listening, replay. Always appreciate New Jersey for tuning in live, listening, replay. You know, these episodes are for the people, so people can, whether they go in trustee training and get going. Make sure you know what you're supposed to be doing out here. Oh man, Trust Christian, I'm gonna try to wing it. Okay, well, wing it. We got trustees that quit their job and end up having their own business. A lot of this stuff y'all think is actually like technical labor. It's not even technical labor. It's more emotional capacity. That's actually what we just got off the consultation with a trustee about, which was the emotional. You gotta have an emotional element to this. See, everybody want to get in trusteeship because this logically makes sense. Oh, logically, I'm supposed to lower my expenses, correct? Logically, right? Right. But when it comes down to it, it's not. It's an emotional component to it. When it comes to wealth, are you going to go to the Lamborghini dealership and try and drive the Lamborghini? Are you going to go to these properties? Are you going to go to art galleries? Are you going to go to the golf course? Even are you just going to get the membership and don't even have golf clubs yet? Are you going to get the business club membership? Really, like the mentors told us. The mentor said, "Yeah, join the club you can't afford." See, I don't. People don't really want to hear that. That's the emotional element. See, the mentors challenged us. We were comfortable with it. The mentor said, join a club you can't afford, a business club you can't afford. We're sitting there like, man, first of all, you thinking, we already know what you're thinking. Oh man, where's the money gonna come from, man? Hey, I gotta figure out how much this gonna cost me, man. Right, okay, so that's how it goes. You gotta figure that out, but that ain't it. That's still not supposed to stop you once you find out the price either. Oh man, I found the price. Okay, figure it out. The mentors didn't give us an option. They didn't say, "Oh, you could kind of do it, and then you gonna be successful." It's like, okay, what are you talking about? We met presidents of major of the bar associations for states. What are you talking about? Of course, you're supposed to be in a business club. Oh man, I'm a trustee, but I'm not in a business club. Okay, sounds good to you. Don't sound good to us at the vault. We hear what you're doing. It sounds good to you. Oh man, our business club, man. We got trustee getting a business club, right? Hey, this is what it is. So y'all, this is a lesson live, lesson learn. It's not a to the trustee. If you listening to it, you gotta take it for what it is. It's not a oh man, Trust Christian, you talked about me. It's not about that. The trustee actually gets is whether y'all want to call it expensive or not. It's not about that. It's about getting a membership. They got the membership. Now this is a more. So this is an individual that's walking in there with a red fez on their head and probably wearing a whole dress, okay, and gown and dashiki. Okay, first of all, Trust Christian, we don't care at the vault. That's the Trust Christian vote at the vault. We are an educational platform. We actually have shared with trustees how to deal with the banks. You dress properly. We've dealt with trustees over the phone where they get their bank account reversed because somebody tried to, because the bank tried to freeze their accounts. That's a public testimonial. That's not a oh man, Trust Christian man. You just coach a trustee up over the line. Yeah, of course. We trained them how to talk to the people. We trained them how to look the part. It all goes together. It ain't no oh man, trust with the what one of the mentors said. One of the mentors said it's a holistic system.
It's a holistic system. So, trustee gonna go in there with some Timberland boots and they showing. It's like, what? These are construction boots. First of all, we're not here to make no, anything's, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to tell you what it is. The trustee walked in the business environment with construction boots. The lady at the front desk says, "Sir, we just want to let you know the dress code is business black shoes." What part of that do you not understand? Now she didn't say that part, but she did say the dress code is black shoes. And she probably pulled him to the side politely, this trustee, and told him, and that's what it is. But y'all can't be sitting here like, "Oh, trust Christian, what do you mean? You can't go in the what is that? Going to the business club with Timberland boots?" Like, first of all, when you get the membership, they tell you the dress code. You're supposed to wear a sport coat. They tell you these type of things. They tell you if you in certain rooms, you gotta wear a certain coat. Something we gonna go ahead and show off. Let Trust Christian show off real quick, please. We love this. Sometimes at certain clubs they got cigar rooms, so they have where you're supposed to have a smoker's jacket. When you go in a room, you have a smoker's jacket. Your smoker jacket can actually stay at the business club. So when you go to the lounge, the smoking area, the cigar lounge, you can wear a smoker's jacket. So these are the things that you learn when you go into the clubs. Like, this isn't, "Oh man, Trust Christian, I don't know if it's real." Okay, now you know. Because you walked in the club and they told you, "Hey, no construction boots." Like, right, okay, trustee ain't dealt with it since. But at the end of the day, lesson live, lesson learn. Nothing is what it is with a trustee. Happy they learned the lesson. Hey, Trust Christian, we do our best to share, which I got you guys on the call. Business attire, business casual on a normal day, and business in general. Uh, Somebody said velvet smoker jackets. Yeah, the velvet ones, man, we love a good smoker jacket. That's all we can tell you at the vault. Smoker jackets. We love we love wearing smoker jackets. You ain't gotta be smoking. You just wear a nice. It's nice texture. It's just beautiful. But nevertheless, though, yeah, I know. We supposed to be talking about living trust, and we already talk about smokers jackets. But we talking about the living trust because even when you go into the environments, you gotta dress the part, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta dress the part when you go into these environments. So, you know, y'all can feel free to type into the chat any questions y'all may have about this topic that we got right here. Christian at trustchristian.com, Christian at trustchristian.com. Yeah, somebody said dress to impress. It's like, but the thing about it is, ladies and gentlemen, anybody could say that, "Oh, dress to impress," but it's a lot of people going to the grocery store in their pajamas. Like, it's just a reality. No one can say that at the Trust Christian Vote. Whether you ordering your food online or you going to the store, it doesn't matter. It's not always about, "Oh, you have to dress to impress." It's just being aware. Like, we talked to a few trustees. We tell the trustees straight up. Think about this, ladies and gentlemen. This is just this. Whether you want to whether you want to hear this or not, take this as a possibility. To a degree, could be more of a probabilistic outcome. So yeah, it just depends on where you are. But let's just say you're looking dingy or you're wearing some wild stuff. Might be something offensive on it, and you're out and about, and you run into a banker, one of the banks that you bank with, and they see the attire that you're wearing, or you run into your attorneys, and you got a slander on there, you got something on there. You run into your accountants, and we talking, when we say accountants, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about like a major firm. We're not talking about your uncle, not your cousin, not the guy that lives down the street that's running a business out of his house. We're talking about people that work at major corporate firms. Some people say, "I don't deal with those people." Well, that's fine. But the ones that okay, for example, the trustees that you open up the bank account with clean attire, business attire, and then now they see you out and about, and you're not wearing that attire, and it might be offensive, and you wonder why the treatment may be different. That's what it looks like. So looking the part is very, very important. And some people may find this one hard. Just coming from like the brother and sister community, fashion is like a big deal. So when you get into like wealthy environments, it's not really flashy. It's very conservative. Less is better. So when you go into, first generation wealth rooms, sometimes you'll usually see people being a little flashy. You can see designers and they're a little bit more pronounced. But no one's saying don't wear designer clothes, ladies and gentlemen. What we're saying is you when you're dealing out here in the public, you gotta make sure you dressing the part and looking the part. Especially if you're in a business club. You gotta show up with a uniform. So it is what it is. Some trustees may never get it. Some trustees gonna hem and haw on it. It is what it is. We're proud and thankful for all the trustees that's taking action towards their dreams right now, the dreams that we're holding space for, and we know that are coming true for them. And if you want to continue to get your trustee training, feel free to go through the vault, and we look forward to having those conversations with you. But this episode is easy. We've had quite a few trustees come through recently. One trustee came into trustee training reading a living trust book. Oh, I got a living trust book, Trust Christian. Yeah, put that down. That's not private. Are we done? Or what do you say? Are we done or are we finished? Are you done or are you finished? Now, there's nothing wrong with getting information. Okay, fine. But just be aware that if you've inquired about the private and you go in private, then you got to double down on the private information, not double down on information that's in the public that anybody can read. Anybody can buy that book. Private information is just that. Somebody asked how Brother Cornell's doing. We've had him on the channel before. We haven't talked to him in an extended period of time, so we haven't talked to Brother Cornell in a while. And that's what happens as trustees. You would want people to continue working together and trust. But what you guys come to find out is you know you man, you gotta move a certain way. That's just the facts, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta move a certain way. You gotta be in the rooms. That's just bottom line. Some people say they talk all that stuff, but one thing Trust Christian Involved we really proud of is we sit in the rooms. We sit in the rooms that y'all think is powerful. Oh man, these rich. What I want to know what the billionaire looks like. Like, okay, we sitting in front of 'em. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we talked to some goofball recently. Oh, Trust Christian, you're never gonna meet this person. You're never gonna do this. You're not gonna meet a president. You're not gonna. You don't sit around billionaires. No, you sit around. Don't. We're not even gonna talk about what they do all day. But we know who we sit around. We know who we fly around the world and around the country and meet. It's not on the internet. And so what is that? Does that just because you stood next to an owner of a business that has a multi-million dollar business, multi-billion dollar business, does that make you a billionaire now or something? No. But being in the room and having that conversation, that's important. Being next to them that's important. So they made it be the billionaire and you working on whatever you working on and you doing what you got to do. But at the end of the day, what you not gonna go meet with them because they're a billionaire or they're whatever? That's the difference. The room, some people say, oh man, those rooms don't matter. It's like, yeah, because you're not going to be a billionaire. That's why. You're not going to have $1 billion ever grace your face, let alone your hands, man. You're not going to ever see that come into any relationship to you. It's just the idea. It's like gardening. You're not a gardener. It's that. And that's fine. But for the ones trustees, y'all got so a lot of trustees come through with big goals and big dreams. Y'all know y'all got a menu, and y'all might not be able to tell y'all local circle. Right, you're not able to tell your local circle, but you can come on the line with Trust Christian Revolt, and we can train and go through guidance steps where you are taking those steps to do what? To put yourself in a position where it don't matter how much money you want to generate or create and pass along in generational wealth. You already know you sitting next to the men and women that's already holding it. And you already know they ain't about to go down. And so you already know what that means. You're about to go up and go up at an exponential rate. But how is that not going to be the case if you're sitting around people and they not even multiplying? They just add. You're not sitting around a wealth mentality. If you're not sitting around a wealth mentality, ladies and gentlemen, you should already know what to expect. It's no, oh, Trust Christian, give me a break, man. Come on, man. Give me the shortcut, man. I'm trying to get a shortcut, man. Nah, man. The shortcut was you got to get on the airplane or you got to travel. You got to go wherever you got to go. Just like you go visit the car, just like you go visit the houses, you got to also go visit those people that you're talking about. That's that. Trust Christian Evolve, we put together an accountability program, we put together a training program, we put together a goal achievement program, and we help people achieve their goals. We're really proud of the trustees. There's actually some trustees that just quit their job, making some real serious money, and they got children. This is actually some people call it a single parent, but yeah, it's a single parent, damn straight. And trustees out here grinding, building a business. Has had sales before they quit, and has had sales after they quit their job. So what makes you think you can't quit your job? Oh man, Trust Christian, I gotta play it safe. I don't want to look like a fool. That's all it is. Appreciate New Jersey for tuning in live once again. We always appreciate the comments, the long time listeners, even the new listeners, but always appreciate the long time listeners. Some people say, "Oh man, Trust Christian, what you be doing all day, man?" People really want to know that. Like, "Oh, Trust Christian, what do you do all day?" We're handling trustee stuff, like our mentors is doing. Handling trustee stuff. That's that. You making phone calls. You're going to financial institutions. You're talking to lawyers. You're talking to accountants. You're talking to business owners. That's what you're doing. That's what we do. It's not, oh man, Trust Christian. That's what do you, yeah, what do you do? It's like, okay, like, and some people, that's the difference. That's why we actually did the episode recently. Are you the beneficiary or are you the trustee? You got to make your mind up. If you the trustee, you got to go ahead and lock in into administrator mode. And once you find out that you're a trustee, we probably going to do an episode about, but once you find out that you're a trustee, it's actually like your second birth. Because now you're birthing yourself into the system where if somebody wanted to say who created it, technically it would have been you. But it can't always look like that because in the public it looks like that, but in the private it doesn't. It looks different. Traditionally, families pass down something to you. So if you're not in that position, then it has to still look a certain way. So that's the first thing to throw out there as a trustee. You say, "Oh, what's going on as a trustee?" Well, as a trustee, you get like a second life because now you just gotta be a trustee. You gotta become. Go ahead and hey, if you ever thought about making some money proactively, go ahead and start doing it as a trustee. Whereas as a person with a job, you get told what time to do work. As a trustee, no one tells you that unless you in a group and everybody's got the same schedule or you guys have agreed to that. But a lot of y'all know, y'all reaching out, y'all first generation, y'all know what it is. You got to set a schedule for a trustee. See, the reason why you're not a trustee is because you ain't set a schedule for if you actually was a trustee full time. See, people ain't did that. Oh, Trust Christian, you did that? Of course. We were already in business before we ever became trustees, so it wasn't a hard transition to just keep a schedule as a trustee. It wasn't like then you can keep what we call KPIs. Then you can see like, okay, as a trustee, what are the things that I'm supposed to be doing on a regular basis, whether it's monthly, weekly, daily, yearly, whatever it is. I can see what those key performance indicators are. Do you know what those things are for yourself? And it's wild because most people cannot tell you that. But y'all don't even want to know. Trust Christian, we were terrified because the mentor, he was like, run it like it's a public trust. Like, wow, for real? Wow, man, I thought I was supposed to be private. It's like, he said, run it like it's a public. Just have everything prepared. Like, really? Like, dang. And see, people don't want to hear that because it's like, man, I don't know what it's like to run a public trust company. Exactly, because you got to do the homework. You got to put the sweat in. You got to put the tears in. You got to sit there and do the homework. You got to research the words. You got to know now, okay, if I don't know it all, I got to go meet with the right people so I can, get done what you need to get done. Or you get in trustee training, you still find out there are things that you got to do because you want to be a trustee, not a beneficiary. People thinking like a beneficiary, but they're not thinking like trustees. Here we go. Whether y'all want to know it or not, if you replace trustee with stewardship, it's the same thing. Stewardship. That sounds a little bit easier to people's ears because they're like, oh man, trustee sounds like, oh, I gotta wear a white suit a white shirt and a suit every day as a trustee going to deal with banks. But if I'm a steward, it's sort of like church, and it's sort of like, okay, I gotta be a steward of my life and steward of the good things, and it's more like heavenly and divine, and it sounds better. Okay, great. You're a steward. If you actually truly became a steward in your mind and your heart, you could never not be wealthy. But y'all don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that. Because if you heard that all you have to do is truly lock in with the steward mentality, what are you talking about? You'll always have the money that you need to do the things that you need to do because it's a wealth mentality. You're stewarding your gifts, you're stewarding your value, you're stewarding exchange, you're stewarding all those things. Somebody said husbandry. I would definitely encourage them to look that word up a lot more in depth. Um, but it definitely has a form of like heirship, leanings to it. Even when you talk about husbandry, that's something that you can take into like planting. So when you plant things in husbandry, clearly, when it comes to you planting things, you gotta water it, right? Right. You gotta have it in the right soil, right? You can't just put a seed in the ground and expect it to grow. Like, yeah, the concept is if you put the seed in dirt, it's gonna grow. Yes, but if you put it in the wrong type of dirt, it's not gonna grow. And then if you don't water it or if it don't get water, some plants do usually need water, some don't. But if it needs water, you gotta water it. If you don't do that, it's not gonna grow. It doesn't matter, even if it's in good soil. There's a lot of things with that. There's a lot of things with it. But point being is if you're talking about husbandry or stewardship, we're talking about, you know, making sure that you're focused on airship. So we appreciate the conversation today in the chat. Always appreciate the live chats, tuning in the replays. Feel free to go back and listen to the previous episodes if you haven't in a while. But hey, had a bunch of people reach out recently, and we think they listened to one of the episodes we dropped with one of the attorneys. But think about it, think about that. Trust Christian and Evolve, y'all know what we talk about. We talk about private trust. Y'all see we bought a public attorney or an attorney on the line, and y'all see what they said. Y'all can go back and listen to the episode. Go back and listen to it. It's not private. And we here to talk to anybody in the public about that. Why? Because it's not. It's got public laws in it. It's not Trust Christian and Vote wants to be a meanie. No, it's telling y'all straight up that straight up. Like, this is. It actually is. It's got public laws in it. It's public. So it's not to say you don't waste your time. If you guys want to keep learning, have at it. But that's not private. So appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening, replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listening, replay. If you want to get a consultation, get in Trustee Training, feel free to reach out. Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Peace and joy.